cotton ginny pants all pinned up on the side.
We on?
We walk through there
Yeah.
just like...
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to Talk Recovery's Facebook Live page. We're in studio. We got co-host Darren. Terrance, our first guest. Over here in the corner, we've got Marissa. Say hi, Marissa.
Hi.
Guess what, everybody? It's our 5th year this year. Today's our first show. 5 years, Darren. 5 years.
Nice work, Giuseppe.
Yes.
Champion.
5 years,
Yes.
5 years.
Keep them going, Darren.
Talk and recovery.
Talk and recovery.
Good.
Alright. Can you hear it?
Got some music playing in there, nice too, yeah. It's our intro.
Okay, microphone should go on.
Sorry?
Good afternoon, Vancouver. Hello. This is Giuseppe Ganci, and I got my co-host here, Darren Gaylor, in studio.
As
Hey,
always.
Darren, as always.
Afternoon.
It's the first show of our 5th year of Talk Recovery Radio. Always right, yes. We're super excited, bringing addiction and recovery issues to the airways on Vancouver Co-op Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM, for 5 years. 4 of those years, we had our co-host Frances Stone with us. She's moved on to bigger things and other things, and we miss Frances. And we're going to have a great 2019. I just got back from an amazing holiday, Darren.
Oh, good.
Yes. That's what stars do during off season, right?
That's
what they do.
Yeah.
They take time off and they travel the world. And I had pizza, pasta, and gelato for like 14 days.
And cannolis.
And lots of cannolis.
I saw pictures of cannolis.
Did you see that tray of cannolis? You want to know something funny about that picture? So there's only like 11 people at that dinner, and so I go to the counter and I'm like, how many cannolis? I'm like, 20.
Well, sure.
So I go to my grandma's house. She's like, what do you... Not my grandmother, my aunt's house. What are you doing with all these cannolis? I'm like, I don't know. I plan on eating 2 or 3. It's pretty funny.
Can't just eat one.
Can't just eat one. So let's see what happens in 2019. We've got, we had one heck of a 2018 year. Lots of issues. Prescription heroin and that is now the new norm. Legalization. Lots of stuff happening in Vancouver, and I don't know what's next. You know, we've got easy access to every type of drug you can imagine, every type of prescription drug you can imagine. There's services like, I went to Italy and I asked the people in an NA meeting in Italy. I was like, so if somebody wants help, what do they do? And they're all like there's no answers. Like there's no easy access to treatment. There's no easy access to Suboxone. There's no easy access to methadone. There's no easy access to anything unless you got some money. You go to private treatment, but there's nowhere near the services that we have just within this 4-block radius. And like no one's dying in Italy. Yet we've got the worst overdose crisis in the world, and we have all these services. So I'm really hoping we really start taking a look at an inventory on our services. Like we got all these services, yet people are still dying. You can't go to rehab in Italy unless you're lucky, or like it's just different there.
So what does that bring us back to? The fact that it's
I don't
the fentanyl that's
know.
doing this? Is there fentanyl in Italy? Is there...
Well, remember my talk a long time ago about Portugal. The reason why they don't have fentanyl in Portugal because they said there's no market for it.
Right.
There's no market.
The market's here.
Yeah,
in
the
United
market's
States.
here. So I think we really need to dig deep, like as into why are people even doing the amount of drugs they're doing here.
Well, trial and error, man. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna go through until we get to the fact that, you know, people need the holistic approach and, you know, like a community support.
Oh, I'll help you with that for a second.
Well, we'll get into you for a second.
Okay.
We'll get into you for a
Terrance
second.
is ready
Yeah,
to
there-
jump on
Terrance
in.
is ready.
I love it.
We always start our show off with a little bit of hot topics. Oh, our mics are really loud there. Another great thing that happened this year. Do you remember we had the whole Stop Daily going on and all that kind of stuff? So Patricia Daily.
Right. Yeah.
So guess what else just happened between now and Christmas? Mark Tyndall, the executive director, or whatever you want to call him, of the CDC, who's doing the prescription heroin, he was let go as well. So we've been talking about Mark Tyndall for a really long time. I personally think we need prescription heroin, don't get me wrong. But when you have somebody at that level who's, you know, in bed with the coroner and everything else, who only talks about prescription heroin and never talks about recovery, we have a problem. And I'm really hoping that he's been let go because of that. Because it's like you can't just talk about prescription heroin when you're in charge of the overdose crisis. Like you need to talk about everything, which includes recovery, harm reduction, abstinence, methadone, Suboxone, and prescription heroin. And you can go to Mark Tyndall's Twitter handle, and he never talked about recovery. So it's like it's time we start taking these people that are in charge accountable. It's like, you know what, if you don't talk about the full continuum of care, you need to go.
And that part that I remember that stuck out in the Portugal model was the assessment done on each individual for what their
Mark
needs
Tyndall
are.
has never, ever mentioned the idea of he's simply heroin user, prescription heroin, like roller coaster ride to it. Yeah, he's never talked about the full continuum of care. So it's good riddance. See you later.
Well, hopefully whoever steps in and takes his place
we'll learn. And we'll invite them to our conferences in Recovery Day, and hopefully they'll be an ally rather than just an ally to one form of treatment. So that's Talk Recovery Radio. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally. I don't mind. You can listen to us on iTunes. You can listen to us on SoundCloud. You can listen to all our past shows at www.talkrecoveryradio.com. And 5 years strong, and we're going to keep going this year. And our first guest of our 5th season is in studio, ready to go. Darren's going to start the interview for you. Thanks for listening to us, everyone. Darren, who do we got in studio today, and who are we talking recovery with?
I'm excited. We're talking with Terrance Kosikar, founder and executive director of Camp My Way. Welcome to the show, Terrance.
Awesome, brother. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for having me.
Right on. It's really good to have you. There's like what we were just talking about. The approach and the consideration of needs to individuals. And that's, we're going to talk a lot about what you're doing for that, for people specifically with needs of PTS, post-traumatic stress. We made a point to discuss that it's not a disorder. It shouldn't be labeled as a disorder.
That's right.
But it is a real thing. It's an emotional response to trauma, to high stress situations. So you were a first responder of almost 10 years.
That's right.
And you stated in some research that I was watching that you were never trained for what happens, in dealing with these experiences of first responders.
That's right.
Accidents, injuries, traumas to bodies, deaths, and all of that. So can you, as you began your career?
Yes.
How did you cope? Did you do anything different in your life, sort of intrinsically, because you were going through a lot of stress? Like, did some things change, and if so, what did you start to do?
Well, I tell you, that's why I became a firefighter.
Okay.
I grew up in the streets of Los Angeles, and spent 15 years working with a certain organized crime family, and 15 years of being addicted to crystal meth, down, crack, all the works, using that tool to escape my reality, to escape the trauma, the drive-by shootings.
Okay.
That's gonna. yeah. But I tell you what, let's do this for a second, real quick. Let's do something together. Giuseppe, you want to join us? Because right now I have this pit in my stomach, and I'm anxious, and I'm fucking shaking like a leaf. and this is a tool that I use every day to manage that. When I start thinking about dope, when I get stressed out, or when I start shaking like this, I got to look within self to say, where's the problem? Okay. So let's do this tool together, because in order to continue, I want to be balanced.
Let's do it.
So what I like to do is a body scan real quick. I'm going to wiggle our toes, flex your calves, bend your knees, flex your quads, roll your pelvis, tighten your core, bounce your pecs, boom, boom. Roll your shoulders, elbows, down to your hands. So I gotta ask myself right now, did I find any pain? Where's the problem physically? There isn't one right now. So right after I'm done using this tool, I check in with self, and I bring myself back to the moment. And how I do that is a set of 5x5s. So a nice 5-second breath in my nose, and a nice 5-second breath out of my mouth, 5 times. 1, try that together? All of us in the room here. Those of you at Facebook, let's do this together. Sit down, relax, let's do this, okay? And a nice deep breath. And out for 5. 5. In. Out for 5. In for 5. Out for 5. Last one. Nice deep breath in. I use that tool every single morning I wake up. It's the first thing that I do. Is check body, check self, and then some breaths. But honestly, even this morning, when I get to my second or third breath, it's like, oh shit, I gotta go check my Facebook likes. I wonder if anybody shared my post yesterday. I gotta go. I got an interview today. And the mind starts getting away on me. And I have to stop and do those breaths again until I can do all 5 by 5s with just focusing on breaths.
Yeah.
So that later in the day, you know, and that also just sets the pace for my day. But it also lets my body and my mind know where's a safe place to be right now to check in myself.
Yeah.
So later in the day when I'm in rush hour traffic, or the boss is pissing me off, or something's just not feeling right, or I'm in an interview where I feel that, oh shit, I don't feel right now, which usually I used to go to dope.
Right.
I'll just,
Yeah.
big pill, couple, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll stop, I'll pull the freaking car over, I'll leave the room, and I couldn't do that this time, but I'll leave the room, go sit down, and body scan. Where's the problem? It's not my physical. Okay. Breaths.
Well, I feel much more calm right now.
And then I start getting into the, okay, so it's not me.
Yeah.
It's my environment.
Well, and there's an instinct as human beings, like a survival mechanism, probably going way back, that if you're under stress, if you're feeling anxious, if you're in self-protection mode, like, don't stop and meditate and breathe. Like, pretend like it doesn't exist. Just ignore it, right? It'll go away. And that has to have, you know, a big impact on post-traumatic stress.
You know, it's humans in general, period.
Right.
You know, our creator didn't give us a set of lungs this big to run marathons. It's a self-regulating system for when the nervous system is affected or we're facing danger.
Right.
You ever see any pissed off monks walking around, do you?
No.
Right? It's breaths. It's natural and it's free.
Yeah.
Okay? But
See-
the key, I'm sorry, Darren, but the key is to do this every single morning when you get up, so that later when you're doing your breaths, the body says, oh, I remember this morning. It's a safe place. Okay, good. And sometimes you have to do it 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Nothing else matters. It's the self-care.
And I appreciate the fact that even just on air, you know, that you have the self-respect enough to notice that, you know, you're feeling anxious. It's you know, don't know what to expect. You know, a little bit nervousness. I mean, I get it every time we do the show. We've been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, to just allow yourself the dignity to check in and take a breath.
Just straight up. Stop for a second.
Is that as simple as what the training could have been for you in the beginning of this career? Like just
Yes.
like some classes, there's some discussions about that simple of a technique, knowing that these are men and women that are going into a field of high stress situations.
I'll tell you, it doesn't matter whether you're a soldier, whether you're a policeman, whether you're a fireman, whether you're a school teacher, or a student, or a child. If we had learned these tools starting in kindergarten, every single day, show up to class. Okay, kids, sit down. Let's do body scan. Okay, la 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 la. Let's breathe together. Just operating at that frequency, at that level, that energy that we have together as people, no matter what uniform we're wearing.
Yeah.
We do this every single day throughout the years. I guarantee you, at 15 years old, I wouldn't have been smoking crack and on the run for manslaughter.
Right.
Because I would have had a tool
Right.
to manage my feelings, my stress, my bullying, the gangs, the environment that I was in.
Yeah.
And I'll keep it simple like this. The Dalai Lama says, if we can teach every child at the age of 5 on how to meditate just 1 hour per week, we can end all violence and all hatred around the world within 1 generation. Today, everybody wants to put bandages on the injured today, but what are we doing for prevention to help our next generation from ending up in a shitter like we are?
No.
So real quick, only because I didn't want to forget, I want to give a quick shout out to my brother, Major Carsten Herget. He is the commanding officer for the German Air Force Special Ops. Mr. Herget, how are you, brother? He's watching from Germany, as with all of our firefighters and military services over there. So hello, brother. Guten Morgen. Sorry, I just got back from Germany last night. So.
Oh yeah, learned a little language on the way there.
Well, not only language, but they've invited us over there to share these tools. And like Giuseppe said, why in Italy aren't these the problems? Why in Germany are their treatment centers not buckling at the seams? Why do they not have a downtown east side? Because, well, A, they have centuries ahead of us. And they've learned that it's bad for business to hurt our people. And they support and they use every single tool possible.
I completely agree. It's almost like it seems like we're new at this.
Very.
You know, and it's sad I made the comment about trial and error. like it seems that's what our policies have been doing. It's just like, oh no, that one didn't work, let's try something. Oh, that one didn't work. And it's just like there's so many people that are just like
suffering and dying because of that mentality.
Right.
That's unacceptable.
And yet the solutions are always so simple.
Yeah.
You know, to provide community,
Yeah.
to give some dignity,
Yeah.
and integrity, and the gift of sharing a moment of space and conversation with somebody that knows exactly what you're going through,
Right.
is beyond any pill, is beyond anything, you know, of fixing a problem. That's it. Like that human connection and contact with somebody that can relate to you is like it's the thing, it's the magic, eh?
Well, you know something, that sort of tool, and I don't mean too much disrespect when I say this, but that's bad for business. Because it's free.
Yeah. Well, because you don't need to go to school for that.
It's free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why are we waiting until we're actually shattered, broken, and dying and having this epidemic of the overdose crisis to actually say, oh, what should we do about it? Well, let's prevent us from getting there, not put bandage on a problem today. And what can we do is prevent us from getting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that brings me to the question with Camp My Way. It's a retreat. It's a gathering.
Camp My Way is a wilderness therapy program.
Wilderness therapy
Wilderness in an all natural environment.
Okay. Who and when does an individual come? Because it's like we don't want to wait till you know some of your story, eh? Where it's just suicide attempts and loss of everything. You know, where you're just like it feels like you have no more options left. Then I desperately reach out for help. Like, when can a first responder or somebody suffering recognize, I need something like this. I need a place like this to go, you know, without like having hit the wall.
Well, they can come tomorrow. They can come in 10 minutes if they want to.
How are they going to know?
Well, we know when it's time for help, but our whole goal is, of course, to support the people who are struggling right now.
Yeah.
And the idea with Camp My Way is what helped me get my life back. And I'll give you just the people out there who might not understand, where I come from. I'm certainly nobody special. I'm just a guy who has a story, as we all do. But the story that happened to me, of course, was the first responder to the Vancouver 2010 Olympics, the luge athlete Nodar Kumaratashvili, who was killed on opening day. And what happened at that point when that boy was killed, and I responded to this accident, is after his death, what happened is all of the events that had happened in my life, drive-by shootings, attempted murders, decapitation, all that shit, all the years of being sketched out, tweaked out, prison, the psychological torture of it, all of it came back at once.
Yeah.
After the games were over, was my first attempt at suicide. And that's when I went to see my doctor to say, hey, what the hell? I'm a fireman. I've changed my life around. I'm a volunteer ski patroller. I have a family. And he says, I think you have PTSD. I looked at him and says, what the is PTSD? He said, well, you're going to need to see a psychologist. She hasn't come up here for 2 months, but in the meantime, take some of these. I didn't see them, but the horns grew and the tail came out. Antipsychotics, sleeping meds, and Percocets. I'm a meth guy. What the is a Percocet? Well, let me tell you, a year later, I'm up to 40 a day.
You find out quick.
Oh, buddy. Do I want to go see the psychologist now?
Yeah.
Hell no. I'm feeling good. Long story
Fixed
short.
it.
Yeah, I got my little medicine, and my name's on the bottle. But long story short, over the course of the next 5 years, I ended up losing my career as a firefighter. I lost my family of 13 years. In and out of Vancouver Detox, Harbor Light, and by the way, shout out to Mr. Don McGilvery, because Don is so badass. I love Don. Don, if you're listening, I can love you, brother. Thank you for helping save my life. And ultimately found myself 4 years ago living homeless, right down this alleyway, right behind the center here.
So you've been here.
Have I been here?
Yeah.
This is home. And it's home because of our community here.
Yeah.
We're not robbing from each other. We're all in the same situation. There's no judgments.
Right.
But it got to a point where I needed to escape the cage. The downtown east side being the cage.
How'd you get out?
I took off up to my cabin in the backcountry. Sketched out after a 3-week binge. Actually, in fact, I stopped on the Lionsgate Bridge to jump. It was so freaking, the psychosis was like hearing the voices and the bugs crawling on your veins. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm actually more scared of heights than I was of dying.
So you kept on going.
I pulled over, almost got in 2 accidents, got up to, anyways, that's not where I'm going with this. Where I'm going is I got up to my cabin. And this is where the animal instincts kick in. Because I'm 200 kilometers away from people, away from humans, away from the laws and the rules and the drugs and everything else. And what do we need to survive when you're out in the middle of nowhere? It's winter time. What do you need now?
Well, warmth.
Okay, so
shelter.
where do you think you're just going to flick a switch on the wall? No.
Right.
We got a caveman.
Yeah.
We got to go get some wood.
Fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm, tweaking out, and I'm just freaking like going through my withdrawals, but I had to survive. The animal instinct kicked in, and that doesn't kick in for us downtown.
So literally hours prior to this, I got a survive instinct.
No.
You're ready to throw yourself off the bridge.
Well, it was
No, but that's it. Like,
oh yes,
we get feeling the emotions, and we just want to end that. But be put in a position of save your life, and I'm chopping a tree down to get some wood for a fire.
That wasn't on purpose. That wasn't on purpose. I got up there to the backcountry, and I'm not sure how long I was passed out in my bed for. You know how it goes after a couple-week tear. You wake up, room stinking, sweat just soaked, and you just start shivering. It's like, I need to go get some wood. And a native man helped me, invited me to his property, helped me chop all the wood that I needed. Now I've got heat.
Where do you come from?
Well, you know what? I'm out there on the Highline Road, and I got my chainsaw, and I turn around, turn this off, magically. Not a human for hundreds of kilometers. There's a native man sitting there on his ATV, a camouflage fatigues on, a rifle on the front of his quad. He says, "How's it going?" I said, "Sorry, sir. I thought he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
Here's white boy up there, just chopping trees like they're mine."
Disrespect.
Totally.
Yeah.
But he says, "Why don't you come over to my property, and you can have all the wood you need." 3 days later, I'm at my house chopping the wood. I turn around, there he is. His name's Amby. Seton Lake Indian Band, Staten Lake Nation. Helped save my life also, thank you. He says, "How's it going?" I said, "Yeah, brother, I'm doing okay. I have some heat, but straight up, I'm starving. I haven't eaten for weeks."
Yeah.
He says, looks at me up and down. "Let's go fishing."
Like
the native ways, though, we
doubt.
took this away from the people, the culture, the ways, the easy ways.
The intuition to approach someone that's in pain and know what they need. Like, where's that,
As of today, you know, we're in what, 20, what years has it just turned, so I don't pay too much attention.
2019.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the back country. we live time out of mind, we don't follow this,
Right on.
we follow the old ways.
I dig it.
And as of today, you know, over the last, of course, couple thousand of years, well, here, I'll just say this real quick. The human, we have the reptile brain, the animal brain, 3 parts to it. Do you know them?
Yeah.
Okay, instinctual,
Yeah.
rational, and emotional.
Okay, right on.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is what we've been gifted since day one. And over the last few hundred years, I don't know the exact date or the precise amount of time, but our animal instincts have been bred out of us. So you look at the society and everything around us today, we're not living instinctually anymore. We're always waiting for the treatment center. I can buy my life. I can go see a psychologist. We're waiting for them to give us our lives
We
back.
don't have the intuition to know what we're capable of.
Right.
And that last part of what we're not capable of, we need to bring some people in to help us get us through this.
But we're not pushed to those breaking points each day as humans each day to know what we are capable of. And we're not living instinctually.
And we don't need the community, the tribe.
What we need.
We do, but we don't.
We're
we
not
don't
using that.
See that,
Yeah,
yeah.
because in our community, when I come to the city here, Jesus, they just charged me $4.50 for 45 minutes to park.
Yeah.
I mean, both hands in my ass. I stood there and I actually felt quite violated. I was like, holy, I'm going to go to the city tomorrow and give them a bottle of lube for next time I park so they can just boom.
Wait till you see what they charge when you don't put that $4 in.
I can imagine. But listen, this is what I'm getting at with our camp. We give the human an opportunity, A, to heal in an all-natural environment. It's been around for thousands of years. There's no stress, there's no money. There's the human can allow to sit with and think and feel to self and have that experience of I am who I am, have the time to get to know themselves, accept themselves, be themselves, and love themselves. And when you have those those elements on top of meditation, gratitude, forgiveness, setting positive intentions, exercise, and healthy nutrition, you can't lose.
You can only heal.
That's it. Period.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you know, this whole camp thing, the way it all happened was just, it was the way it was written. Long before, you know, we're not in control of our destiny when we tap into a higher level of consciousness and a different energy with the universe.
Yeah.
With these doors and experiences open up for us, but where are we ever given this opportunity?
Yeah.
Well, Camp My Way. Come on up, brother.
I mean, I can only impose to people listening that, like, if you can see the experience of being desperate and in need and being in pain and having the experience that sharing that with somebody else feeling the same way, and also at the same time learning what you're capable of doing and getting through, you could have a life-changing perspective.
No, you will. When we accept the fact that simply, as opposed to everybody sitting around worried about myself, what can I ask myself every morning, what can I do today that will help make somebody else's life better?
Yeah. Rather than waste your time on trying to prove what you're able to do all by yourself, to show off and to show people that you can do something.
Sure,
you
ego.
know? Yeah.
Ego says,
Yeah.
I can.
So you've gone through phase 1 of Camp My Way,
Yes.
which is like a full-blown, you know, the retreat from start to finish. How long is it?
Well, right now I'm taking the small steps, you know, because for the last 4 years, I still don't have a penny to my name. So every single thing we've done is done by the generosity of our local community sponsors. And we have a GoFundMe page going right now that we just started last year. We just became a nonprofit society, so we rely on the public to help donate so we can buy, and not just money, but their time as people.
Yeah.
Old canoes, backpacks, safety equipment. Come on up. You have a skill, you're a yoga teacher, you're a firefighter, you want to come on up. Well, that's what will help others heal also. When you're sitting in a place where you're sitting there and you know as a camper that the only reason why I'm eating today and the only reason why I have a canoe and a life jacket and that this is facilitated is because it was donated by the community, not bought. And when you're sitting there going, hey, this is legit, people care. you know? So,
Absolutely.
So we're on our 4th year. We have run, it's been difficult without a single penny for the last 3 years, but I am proud to be an addict, and I put as much energy into my recovery as I did my addiction, and that's why I'm up 22 hours a damn day, 7 days a week plowing forward. But we've successfully run 57 campers through our program, and we're looking forward to, in the future, being fully operational 30, 60, 90-day programs, 6 months to a year. And when we're up there, we live naturally. You want to eat? Well, guess what? Go feed the chickens and get the eggs.
Yeah.
You want organic vegetables? Well, you're going to go plant them today and pick them today.
Yeah.
We want transportation? Let's get on the horse. Did you say you want a roof over your head? We're going to build you one.
Nice. So clean, healthy eating, groups facilitated by counselors.
No counselors.
No.
Sorry. No disrespect to the counselors out there, but we're non-traditional. We don't follow the ways that they're using. It's self-sustainability. So as if we took all of us and just pissed off up in the mountains, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out.
I love that.
And then now we don't have time to think about our addiction and our stress and our sadness. It's like, hey, you know what? That's the least of my problems. I got to eat tonight.
Yeah. And you have to do it as a unit.
So we learn how to fish. We do art therapy. We want to do. And we push ourselves a little bit further than we did yesterday, slow steps.
Right on.
So climbing this glacier, jumping in the glacier lakes. They're not happy their first 2 days at all about this idea. It usually takes about half an hour to jump in. But once you get in, you get out and say, you know what, I didn't think I could do that. And that's the problem. I know we got to wrap this up, but one more thing I'm going to ask you. Giuseppe, question for you. What is the world's #1 addiction that is the least talked about? Can I have the phone so I can shoot you answering the question? Let's see the confusion.
What was the question again?
The question is, what is the world's #1 addiction that is the least talked about, but yet the most damaging? I know.
For me, I think there's so many different. It's from sex to greed.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Good answers. Absolutely. Definitely out there. But that's, I'd say, number 3 on the sex. And greed is definitely up there. But the #1 is thinking.
Okay.
Thinking.
I was going to say self-loathing.
Thinking. We're also addicted to thinking. And when we take one thought and jump to the next and the next and the next, it just runs. And that's why it's important that we stop for a second and have the tool to be able to, wait a minute, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to feel that. So what do? Do you remember?
5 by 5.
Thank you. Stop
Breathe
for a
in.
second, reset, and stay focused on the moment as opposed to letting the mind going off into no man's land. Right. Nice.
Terrance Kosikar, founder, executive director of Camp My Way. Check it out, campmyway.com, and check out the GoFundMe.
Yes, it's also on our website, campmyway.com. Yes, every penny helps. And
there's always corporations and sponsors that are looking to help out. So if you're one of them, definitely check this out and donate if you can and involve yourself. Be a part of this. This is something special, and best of luck on phase 2 and developing this to sustain for all the people that could use this in the future, and provide, like you said, some education
Yes.
on how to prevent
yes,
this from just being the same old tune where people are dying and hitting walls and losing everything before they're able to say something about it. And there's something else that you say, it's not weak to speak.
it's not weak to speak.
This show has been developed on that basis itself.
Yeah.
So we're proud to have you, and absolutely grateful you came in to share your story and what you're doing with Camp My Way.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And it's an honor to be here and be able to share this also. So also, if there's anybody else out there who would like us to come and give a presentation, we are happy. We're in the prisons, fire departments, high schools, universities, giving our presentation to the people just to plant the seeds into the minds.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Check them out, everybody. Okay, coming up next after the break, we got Marissa's personal story on Talk Recovery, Vancouver Co-op Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM. This song is going out to anybody that thinks that being tough is proven you can do whatever you can on your own, all by yourself. This is for all the people who think that it's weak to say something out loud about what you're struggling with. If you want blood, we got it. AC/DC, turn it up.
Oh, nice job, brother.
Right on. Thank you. Right on.
Thank you. Sorry, sometimes I get into that.